What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we got a brand new video. We are here to make another tier list. This one's going to be the month of April tier list. When the game came out last month, it was about exactly a month ago, but a little bit before that, a couple days before, I made a tier list on the units that we kind of knew that were going to be in the game at the time. So I made the tier list like that, and then this was the list that I made, so you can kind of like look at this, pause it for a reference or whatever. But I'm going to be kind of taking this tier list and adjusting it slightly to make a new tier list for this month. Now that we have a couple more units, and then we also have, a better understanding of how the meta is going, I'll most likely be doing a tier list once a month. We'll get a couple more units every single time, maybe an additional 4 or 5 units every month. Then I think that's good enough to make an updated tier list with. I'm going to start saving these from now on, so I don't have to keep doing these from scratch. But I think this is a pretty good and organized setup. So I have the tiers separated, and then, everyone at the bottom separated by color. These are all future units that haven't yet to come out. So I kind of have like a pool of units over there. I'm also going to be including these 3, even though they are currently not in the game. I'm going to put these in last and not worry about them for now. And just make the tier list without them, and then I'll add them in because we should be getting these guys in the near future. By near future, I mean like within the month, possibly, right? Could be next week, could be 2 weeks, could be 4 weeks, but no, the whole concept is I don't want to like make this tier list today and then next week a broken unit comes out that completely changes what's going on. So this is kind of future-proofing it a little bit. Now, I always gotta preface this before we get into it. A tier list is my own opinion based on my own experiences with the game from my time playing on JP and Global up until now. I've been playing JP since day one. I have like 2,000 plus hours logged into the game. This is all based on my knowledge. Now, this is not a PvP tier list or a PvE tier list. This is just an overall tier list where I rank units based on how much value they give you in the game. How frequently are you using this unit, making them more important, right? If you're using a unit, if a unit is being used in every single game mode, multiple teams, things like that, they're going to be, even if they're an SR, they're going to be ranked significantly higher than someone who might be good in one thing, but not good anywhere else. So that is the way that I am ordering this tier list, and I'm going to be kind of going in small batches and then explaining them rather than just having the whole thing out, because what ends up happening is people just copy paste tier lists and then they start posting it all over Discord, Reddit, social media, and there's no context because a lot of the stuff that I do has like asterisks with it, right? It's not like I'm just making a tier list and this is my definitive tier list. I could do that and make a 1-minute video. The whole point is this is a discussion where as I'm placing the units, I'm explaining to you why these units are going where they are. And sometimes there's a little bit of like confusion on where the unit goes, so their placement is more fluid. But let's get into it. Let's see. How do we start? We start with God tier. 1, 2. There's not much explanation needed. If you guys have used Gotha at all from the time he came out to now, you'll know that he is absolutely busted and changes the way the game is played. That's it. Rank up is the strongest skill in the game. It is the strongest skill in the game in JP, which has been out for 9 months. He is still, in my opinion, the best unit over there. No, to me, there's no debate, right? Maybe you could debate for 2, but anywhere below that is just like, no. At that point, I think you're wrong. But King, on the other hand, is, on JP, he might still be top 5, but he's not like number 2 over there. King right now is still King, right? He is still one of the best units in the game, and he's free to play. The main thing about him is his kit fits so well together, right? The Petrify, the heal, and the ultimate that does massive damage. Amazing in PvE, amazing in PvP. There's PvP, he remains seen on multiple teams, on every single meta. Just you can plop him on a team and you'll do fine. Same thing goes with Gowther, but in PvE he is used a little bit less than Gowther. So Gowther is #1 king, then King is #2 king. That makes sense. Okay, now that's gonna be it for God tier. We're gonna go to SS tier. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll leave that for now. And now I might come back and like adjust things, right? So my first placement of units is not 100% final. SS tier. Hardest hitting nuker in the game. I've made like 42 videos on her saying why she's so good. I showed her off in PvP. She's not that good in PvP anymore. But main thing is PvE queen, right? Bleed into hit, into ultimate, or to whatever is just 1 billion damage. I just released a video yesterday on getting a 2 million crit with Jericho on Guild Boss to get myself like a new high score or whatever. What other unit can break even 1 million damage with an ultimate? Even with the perfect setup, right? Like even with a level 3 freeze, with a Hellbrum buff and a Guild Thunder buff, right? Chances are, probably not going to happen. Jericho hits the hardest, and because of that, there is a reason why she's this valuable. It is due to the fact that there are ranking systems in this game, or reward systems, based on certain missions. Not missions, but for example, Guild Boss. You are scored globally with your, with your numbers. The harder you hit, the more points you get, the higher your ranking is. It affects your guild score, and it affects your individual score as well. You want to get your individual rewards, and that costs, what? 1,200 points? Not cost, but it requires you to get 1,200 points on Guild Boss, and then once the next difficulty comes out, it'll require you to get 2,200 or 2,300 points on Guild Boss. And that's how you get all your individual rewards. And without Jericho, doing that is significantly harder. Besides that, like I said, you're competing against other guilds, makes it important. And then once Super Boss Battle comes out, and they have these globally ranked Super Boss Battles, if you haven't played on JP, that's fine. It'll make more sense once it drops. But it's the same concept. It's the same scoring system as Guild Boss, where you need to beat this Super Boss Battle mission, and you get rewards based on where you finish. And there's rewards for top 100, top 5%, top 15%, 30, whatever, and so on. The points matter. And Jericho's the only person that everyone who's competing is using. If you're not using Jericho, you are significantly behind everyone else. Too much time on Jericho, that's it. Bon, PvP monster right now. Also one of the best farmers, if not the best farmer in the game currently. Nothing else needs to be said. If Bon's on the enemy team on PvP, good luck. Merlin. She's slowly coming in. She doesn't have as much of a fancy impact, right? Doesn't do massive damage, but she is a pest. She's got a perfect cube, which is her barrier. She's got a move that removes ultimate gauge, which is really annoying. And then her passive's amazing. Gives everyone 1 ultimate gauge at the start of the fight. Too good. PvE value, great in Grey Demon. You can also use her in majority of the story content. And then PvP, she's going to be used all the time. That's going to be it for SS. Now we're slowly going to start getting into, let's see. As we go down, I'm going to talk less and less about each individual unit, because it just becomes harder. There's too many people in each group, right? And these are not ordered individually within the tiers. It's too much, there's just like not enough things to talk. There's no way to really differentiate them between the tiers. You can kind of group them together, big tiers like this, but to go like, oh yes, you're the best, and then you're the worst, and then move him up, like there's no differentiation between the tiers. It's just, this is the tier and that's it. Oh, I meant to do this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, starting off with the SSRs. Diane has been used amazing amount of time on PvP. If like one of the things I would change from this tier list would be to move Diane up to SS, but she is already seeing diminishing use in PvP. The minute Merlin and Bond dropped. Sorry, the minute Merlin and... Not Merlin. Gowther. Once Gowther came out, already I have yet to see a single DN in PvP, and that's just going to continue because that team is, like, not as good. That's really it. Right, Gowther replaces DN. They don't do the same job. It's just Gowther is an extremely better unit, and the quality of unit goes up a lot. DN isn't really used in PvE. You can use her for farming. That's about it. But PvP, she's slowly going to start declining, and you're going to stop seeing her. She's still a great unit. If you don't have any other options from up here to craft the PvP team, you can 100% go into DN. King of Story. Gonna be the King of Story till today on JP. There's nothing else to say about him. Full counter is amazing. Doesn't have much PvP presence. Helbram. Buffs things. Great. That's it. You need him because he buffs stuff. Hauser, great farmer, and really good PvP unit. Double AoE, works well in multiple metas. Merlin, freezes stuff, just a strong unit, it has PvP viability, also great PvE usage. Arthur, also buff stuff. You see him a lot in multiple metas. He's kind of one of those units that are like pretty good all the time, never amazing, but always just a good option. King, must have for extreme Grey Demon. That's it, hits like a truck. Also has PvP viability. You will start seeing teams once Gallon becomes a little bit more meta. You will start seeing Kings a lot more, Green Kings, because Green King just like one-shots Gallon. The team would be something along the lines of like Green King, Gowther, Merlin, and someone else. And you just run ultimate gauge food, you start the turn with 2 ultimate gauges, and you hit. And you go. Gallon. Dropped with Gowther. Gowther's counter. Great unit. He will be extremely meta until the day Escanor drops. When Escanor drops, he will disappear off the face of the earth. That's it. But for now, he's really good. Red Ellihawk. The best, like, free-to-play option for Red Demon. Doesn't see much use anywhere else. Awesome. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just great option for Red Demon. If you don't want to spend any coins getting Slater, this is the way to go. This unit is amazing. Absolutely amazing, right? I'll possibly put like Red Elizabeth up there. That's how good she is. You can use her in PvE, PvP, use needed in every single super boss battle in this game. It's amazing. Best passive, like one of the best passives of all time, healing 10% maximum HP every time a unit gets hit. You can use her in the back, doesn't have to waste a slot up front. Great unit. Steel Thunder, Buffy Boy, amazing passive for PvP as well. Top tier unit. One of the best SRs in this game. Possibly the best SR. But like I said, they're not ordered for that. Gustav, the free-to-play version of Red Merlin. Buff stuff. Not buff stuff. He freezes things. Pretty good. 8th tier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Where did Kane? Oh, there you go. 8 tier. Not much to talk about as we're getting down into these lower parts later. The better option for Red Demon, however, it's the fact that he is SSR makes him worse, in my opinion, than Red Elizabeth. Because Red Elizabeth is free, making her a better option, does not require SSR pendants. So this actually, the fact that Slater, even though he is the better option for Red Demon, actually demotes him on my tier list. Because you don't use him for anything else. Ever. Red Bond. People always want him to be higher for whatever reason. He's just not that good. Like, he's good enough. You can use him in everything. Like, he's mediocre in PvP. Mediocre, like, decent in PvE. He's like, strong, right? but he doesn't do anything. Doesn't really get seen that much. Every now and then see him in PvP. But Steel Thunder, solid PvP option, solid PvE option as well. The taunt is really strong. Yeah, it's like the strongest taunt of all units currently. Good unit. Healer Elizabeth, good healing, but you don't really need her. Like, she's useful when you do need a healer. She's one of your best options, but rarely do you actually need a healer. This Elizabeth has not been featured on a banner yet, but she is in the game. This is Blue Ellie Hawk. Really strong unit. You know, does a lot of DPS. It's going to be a good option in PvE content. You also see her in PvP every now and then, but because of the fact that she hasn't been featured, a lot of people just don't own her. So we don't see her yet. So she's one of the more underrated units. This Grimoire is really tanky. Just really, really strong, really tanky. You can use him in PvE a lot. And he is also the best, you know, well, SR link for this DM. Kane, pretty much used all the time in raids. His passive allows you to get 10% more attack-related stats, pretty much just making you do faster raids. I'm not going to say he's a must-have in raids, but the time he saves with the stats he gives is extremely helpful, and not using him is kind of troll. Let's go to B. Pretty much closing in on the list. To okay. B tier. Elaine, okay at best, but she's going to be pretty useful in Super Boss Battle King that was already data mined. Besides that, decent PvE. She has a good utility. Does not hit hard at all. That's her biggest issue. She has no damage. Her stats are so low, but good utility. So Gother actually goes in and out of the meta more than you think. It's a good move between Blackout, and he has like one move that makes your ultimate do like less damage, another move that completely seals your like status skills, like things that apply debuffs. He can heal that move completely, and because of that, he goes in and out of the meta quite frequently. Hendrickson, good lifesteal, decent damage. Not really seen that much, but you can use him as an option in PvP. Yeah. Bond, he's not currently being used that much. He's a good option in Red Demon, but he'll be a pretty good option, or like a really, really good option when Hell Mode drops Red Demon. SR Bond, really strong story unit, fell off the face of the earth for PvP. He's pretty much just a weaker Merlin, but he's a free-to-play version, right? So can't complain. These three just have really strong passives, but Elioni has a pretty strong kit as well. He gives himself such a strong defense, or damage reduction buff, while also taunting. You'd be surprised how often he gets used in harder content. Just really strong passives over here. And then decent free-to-play green farmer. Also a pretty decent PvP option as well. Elizabeth hits harder than you'd expect. C tier. This is... We're getting to the point where it doesn't really matter where I put anyone anymore. Those are the SSRs. Like, sure, I can put these guys here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. Like, we're getting to the point where it's like these SRs and like these units down in this area are voice crack are not, they don't really matter, right? Like the placement of these people down here from C to trash is not really relevant. And We'll fill up trash now, just to show you guys who's in there. And you, useless, absolutely useless. I'll fill the rest up. Who cares? Why is there another one of it? That's really it. Like, let's start with C tier, talk about the SSRs. See almost no use. They're just like usable SSRs, but you never really have a reason to use either one of these. The DNs are pretty good for the fact that they are King's Fate Partner. These are the only two DNs that provide Fate links for King. Besides that, you'll never use them in a mission ever in your life. I used this DN once, maybe, I think, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. You just don't use these people. These guys actually have decent passives as well, making them usable in content. These ones, you do use them. There's a mode called Training Cave that will come out, and it's not currently out yet, but when it does, these people over here end up getting used. So, there is that. You know, you can use them for niche things in PvE. That's about it. D are just the not used people for the most part. You know, if you're using them, there's always a better option than them besides like one super specific scenario. And then trash is just that, really just the SSRs, because investing into these SSRs is a real big waste of time. You're never going to use them ever in your life. The Griamore, maybe you use him because he is the Fate Partner of Diane. But that's it. Besides that, that's really it. I want to put these unreleased characters down, and then we'll call it a day. Elbrum is going to go here, here, and there. Escanor, God tier. When he comes out, amazing. PvE, amazing. Training Cave, amazing. Raids, usable there. PvP, monster. That's it. If he hits like a truck, summon for him, please. Hellbrum, cancer. He is so cancerous. It's beyond annoying. Absolutely annoying. The day he drops, it's all hell breaks loose in PvP. Even now. So much cancer, man. I pray that for the day he drops that he doesn't drop. Okay. Demon Meliodas. Yeah, not really usable in PvP. Like, he is usable in PvP, but his main thing is good in Guild Boss, good in Crimson Demon, amazing in Crimson Demon, and then also good in Training Cave and Story. Put them over there. And that's really it. That is the whole list. As more units come out, I will include them on the list as well. Hopefully this gave you guys an idea of why certain units were placed where they were, and give you a reference based on the first tier list, and then from here I'll probably use this exact tier list and constantly keep switching it up. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.